Square. Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. I'm gonna read this article for you guys, and tell me, am I reaching when? And I'm gonna discuss it directly after the article, okay? I need to hear some feedback. Am I reaching when I start to question the working relationship here, the hierarchy structure, the dynamics between employee and boss? Am I reaching? Am I fucking crazy right now to be questioning after hearing this fucking story? Here, check it out. Link is down in the description box below. Oh, and by the way, I'm not calling Adam Copeland Cope as the article suggests, because I think the name Cope sounds fucking retarded when referencing him and Christian. It's Edge and Christian, and therefore I'm going to refer to it as Edge and Christian because it's the only right way to refer to it as. Nevertheless, though, link is down in the description box below. Follow along, okay? Here's why Christian Cage and Edge reunion stalled on AEW television. All Elite Wrestling seemed to be on the verge of seeing the long-awaited reunion between Christian and Edge, as reports indicated an internal creative idea for the pair to face off against FTR at AEW All In on July 12th. Just over 2 weeks out from the event, though, that plan doesn't seem likely to materialize now. According to Fightful Select, Edge and Christian were set to reunite sometime in the aftermath of FTR turning on the Rated R Superstar at AEW Dynasty in April. Edge has remained off of television since Dynasty, with previous discussions reportedly circling AEW Double or Nothing in late May as a potential return site for him. Due to Christian not being ready to finish his story with the patriarchy, however, Edge's comeback and the corresponding Christian and Edge reunion were pushed back. Christian is said to be particularly keen on tying up loose ends with Nick Wayne, whom he has spent a lot of time working with on screen. As of this writing, it is unknown if plans for the Edge and Christian reunion are still in place, even on a delayed timeline. Fightful added that FTR were originally slated to turn heel against the Outrunners in late 2024. When the possibility of FTR versus Edge and Christian was put on the table, though, AEW shifted gears, with Edge as the victim of the former AEW Tag Team Champions' betrayal after its unsuccessful Trios titles pursuit at Dynasty. Okay, so, did you hear that, right? Like, you heard that entire article, right? Now, let me be the first one to say this. I personally like the work that Christian is currently doing right now with Nick Wayne. My problem with this, as far as looking at that story, is the fact that I feel not a lot of TV time is being dedicated to it. In the sense that, like, it's not happening throughout the show. Being given one segment or one match and having to sustain 5 to 10 minutes of television work, and sometimes you might not even be featured the following week, or if you are, you're going to be featured on Collision, which no one fucking watches unless you're an AEW faithful. As much as I like the Christian and Nick Wayne dynamics, as much as I like what they're currently doing as far as their story is considered, it's not the priority at the moment. It could be the priority. It should be a priority, especially if you're looking to make Nick Wayne a feature star on the show. No matter how you feel about Nick Wayne, that's neither here nor there, right? But the suggestion is you're trying to get over Nick Wayne. I don't see anything in Nick Wayne, and quite frankly, Christian is carrying this entire story. But nevertheless, though, if the priority is to make somebody out of a Nick Wayne, wouldn't you want to prioritize that story way more than what you're, or way more how you're prioritizing it right now? You see, what I would have done with the story, outside of fucking featuring Christian and him more often, is giving him a legitimate sanctioned AEW title. You're doing your thing currently right now with Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada with the Continental Championship and International Championship. You have the TNT title right there, essentially collecting fucking dust and webs on Adam Cole. Give the championship belt to fucking Nick Wayne. And if you want, have Christian either inadvertently screw him out of the belt or whatever the case may be by accident. You know, a legitimate accident if you're looking to turn Christian face. Have him screw him out of a match by accident. He could drop the belt to fucking Kyle Fletcher or something, considering Kyle and Adam Cole are having a feud right now. You can have him drop the belt like that with Christian accidentally doing what he did, And then Nick Wayne going after Christian and then tying up the loose ends and getting right to fucking Edge and Christian and reuniting them to go up against FTR. But instead, you've been drawing this out because, as I've been stating for the longest when focusing on professional wrestling in 2025, you go back to the Attitude Era or you go back to the early Ruthless Aggression Era, it felt like what they did in one night, it takes WWE or AEW a whole month to fucking get over. It can't just be me, right? Look at how everything plays out. It feels like everything that WWE has done in one night, say circa 2000, it takes WWE today 4 weeks to get to the same fucking conclusion. And I see the same thing in AEW at the moment. You're drawing this out way too long with such short spurts as far as what you're putting on television in order to convey the story with the masses, that it's too slow. It's too slow. It's not a priority. You know, it doesn't feel prominent at all. It's just not working. I would like for it to work. I would like for it to get over because the actual essence of the story I actually connect with. I actually like. I want to see more of. But if you're not going to go out of your way to prioritize it because you're so focused on your dumb shit wrestling, then okay, fuck. It's just not a priority. But you know what would be a priority at the moment? Edge and Christian. Not even so much FTR, but Edge and Christian. That would be a priority. One of the greatest tag teams in wrestling history who are now currently on your brand, super mature legends who are now currently on your brand, former WWE World Champions, again, the innovators of some of the most prestigious matches in wrestling history are on your fucking company, and you're gonna let Christian, and mind you, look, all the respect in the world of Christian. I fucking love me some Christian Cage. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Doesn't take away from the fact that, are you letting Christian tell you what to do? Hey, Tony, I know you want to do this huge fucking angle with Edge and me and FTR at one of the biggest shows, if not the biggest show of the entire fucking year. But I'm going to need you to take a step back and shut the fuck up and let me finish up my story with Nick Wayne. Do you even hear how that sounds right now? Now, I do want to search up something real quick, because maybe, just maybe, I can be the one just out of bounds here. I'm going to look this up real quick. I'm actually going to say it while typing. Does Christian Cage have creative control in AEW? And the answer says, let's see. While it's widely known that AEW president Tony Khan is the head of creative in AEW, there's no indication that Christian Cage has full creative control. It's more likely that Christian, with his extensive experience, provides input and suggestions that are considered within the larger framework, creative framework. Now, this is according to Bleacher Report and Facebook users, whatever that fucking means. So, from what I can understand, Christian does not have creative control, 9 times out of 10. He most likely, just going off of his legacy and who he is as an influential person in the locker room, probably just pitches in what he would like to do within the company. And look, like I said, as much as a veteran Christian is, and yes, in the grander scheme, he does deserve that kind of respect to have input on his creative. Completely understand. He's Christian Cage. He has done enough for the business where he deserves at least that much respect. But sometimes you just have to override that decision. Sometimes when your biggest show of the year happens to be currently ongoing as far as pushing towards, maybe, just maybe, you put your foot down and you tell Christian, okay, look here, Christian, I know you want to tie up loose ends with Nick Wayne, but as you can tell, I don't give a fuck about you or Nick Wayne's current stupid ass feud going on right now at the moment. But what I do care about right now at the moment is the potential match between you and FTR, which might even have some decent benefits going into the future, and there might even be a chance where this might set up between you and Edge versus the Young Bucks, which arguably, at least within this atmosphere of professional wrestling, hate the Young Bucks, love the Young Bucks, strictly going off of name value, might be one of, if not the biggest tag team matches of this entire generation if you play your cards right. But you're going to let Christian Cage, and again, let me reiterate this one more time, all love in the world for Christian Cage. You're going to let Christian Cage dictate your creative. Because again, that's what they said in the report. They said in the report, Christian Cage essentially said, "Hey Tony, I like the way you move. Hey Tony, if I would, I could be you. But you're the only one crackhead with the only one snorting coke. You're great. Frosted Coke." Okay, I'm fucking taking this way too far. No, but seriously though, what Christian Cage is essentially saying is like, dude, let me run what the fuck I want to run. You can't. How do you actually conduct yourself? How do you actually run a business with this kind of mentality where you can't even have the balls to actually tell one of your workers, "Hey, look, dude, all the respect in the world to you, but we're gonna probably put a pause on that feud just for a little bit. You know, we'll come back to you and Nick Wayne." As a matter of fact, you can even come back to him, and I'll even do you one better. You could even make this more interesting. Who's to say that Christian couldn't have stayed a heel? Or a tweener, I guess, if he actually helped out Edge. Don't know how you would have got there. But who's to say there isn't a position where Christian is still head of the patriarchy and he's teaming up with Edge, and Nick Wayne and the rest of the patriarchy are looking at Christian sideways. Like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you helping Edge? You know, like, what about us type of shit. And Christian Cage is like, I don't like him, but I have to do this type of shit. And then you have Nick Wayne screw Christian out of the match that inevitably leads to FTR winning the match. That way you could have got the Christian and Edge shit out of your system, and you could go back to Christian and Nick Wayne. You could have done that. And still have Edge within the loop helping out Christian, because it's not just Nick Wayne. They got the other dude in that group also, who I can't remember his fucking name to save my soul. Or better yet, if you want to, I think Dinosaur Boy, he should be okay at this point, right? Like Killswitch, he should be fine. Luchasaurus, you can always bring him back also, and he could team up with Nick Wayne to go up against Christian and Edge. You be putting all the spotlight on Nick Wayne while further getting over him, and at the same time, you are still intertwining Christian and Edge as a tag team. And you can still inevitably, after you fully succeeded with turning Christian face with all this stuff, eventually get to your Young Bucks and Edge and Christian match I know they so desperately want to do, probably going towards, I don't know, like Wrestle Dream or Full Gear or whatever. There are so many ways to do this outside of letting Christian tell you, hey, let me tie up some loose ends with Nick Wayne. And I get it. Most likely Christian's mindset is, I'm going to go off to go do this thing with Edge, and I just don't want to leave you in the dust. I get it. There might even be some small part of Christian that relates to a Nick Wayne, knowing, hey, I can leave you in the dust to go be doing my own thing, and then you be struggling within your singles career. Maybe Christian even looks at a situation like that and sees a part of him within Nick Wayne as far as that situation is considered. But goddamn it, kid, he's got to sink or swim, and that's neither here nor there. Again, why is Tony letting someone dictate his creative going into his biggest pay-per-view of the year? Is this not even going to be considered a question? Is this not something that's going to be rumbling inside someone's mind? Are we Neanderthals scratching our balls? Huh? Like, what are we doing here? Huh? Like, what's going on here? It goes to show you, and it goes right back to the fucking big old question of the day, right? What is Tony Khan doing as far as his role as the head of creative, right? As the CEO, as the GM, whatever the fuck title you want to give this man, what is he doing? There are one thing to have advisors, but it's still your decision. That's why they're advisors. Do you guys actually believe this will be a Vince McMahon mindset? Hell, at this point, do you believe this will be a Triple H mindset? You gotta get serious, dude. This is why your company is in the shape that it's in right now. We go right back to the video we did a couple of days ago about CM Punk and all the stuff being owed apology, giving an apology to Tony Khan, whatever the case may be. It goes right back to the same bullshit that CM Punk was saying beforehand about Tony Khan. He's way too fucking nice. He's way too fucking charitable. He's so badly has this vision when it comes to professional wrestling of getting over his stupid ass 1996 AOL chat room booking, Mr. Dave Meltzer Light, Mr. I looked at the Wrestling Observer newsletter circa 1993, and I seen some matches that were graded in a specific way, and it got my rocks off, and now all I can do is I can just focus on that narrative in particular, and god damn it, because that narrative fit my narrative when I was younger, well, gosh darn tiddly fuck, I guess that's just my whole sphere when looking at professional wrestling even 30 years later. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. The only sense that it makes I can make of this is the fact that Tony Khan is so goddamn rich that, logically speaking, I guess he doesn't necessarily have to worry about any of this. It's not money that's being lost through his pockets in the end of the day, right? It's not money that's just going to be burnt into... I mean, it's not as if he loses... This dude could literally lose hundreds of millions of dollars within AEW, and honestly, it's not even going to make a dent within his wealth, let alone his father's wealth, that he probably uses nepotism to gain his own wealth. Because that's the only logical consequence that I can think of to have someone actually believe that the steps that they make and that the practices that they take, as far as concerning talent, it's just so completely illogical to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. It is a fucking wild occurrence that is occurring, and my occurrence error 404, error 404. No, I'm not crashing out. I'm not. I'm gonna be consistent, and I'm gonna be as professional as I can. Your mom. You guys tell me, though, am I the one that's splurging out right now? Am I the one that's just not looking at this right? Devontae, you're reaching for the stars at the moment. Absolutely. All Tony Khan is legitimately doing is respecting a legend like Christian. He has put in the work. He has put in the blood. He has put in the sweat. He has put in the tears. And Tony Khan, all he's doing is respecting the veteran and letting the veteran do what he wants to do on his television show. Even though if he has so much respect for the veteran in itself, then he'd be actually giving him one of his company's main belts and featuring them more on television and getting their story more over. But he's respecting the legend within his business by legitimately saying tie up loose ends for a story no one gives a shit about, that people could and should theoretically give a shit about, but because they don't wrestle like Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay or Swerve Strickland, that, well, who cares, right? AEW AOL 1993 booking. Forgot already, let me remind you. All I'm asking for is a little bit professionalism. All I'm asking for is a little bit consistency. Because I personally would have loved to see that match. I would have personally been way more enthusiastic to see FTR and Edge and Christian going into All In versus what Christian is doing right now. And now we're not going to get it. Because he wants to actually finish up what he's doing here. And Tony Khan said, yeah, brother, A-OK. Go ahead and do what you want. Fuck, Christian, you want to try some of this Canadian snow? That's how I definitely envision the conversation going with him and Christian. Yeah. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to how you felt about the topic today. Do you feel Tony Khan is a Neanderthal dickhead? Do you feel that Devontae, you're a Neanderthal dickhead and you're way too concerned with the booking of professional wrestling as if I don't run a fucking commentary channel on YouTube? Well, hey, I'm gonna let you do the typing and you do the thinking while I'll be on here scrolling down and doing the laughing. With that being said, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smark, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. Most likely tomorrow. Hopefully on Dynamite. Because fuck wrestling news. Deuces and a P. Ice.